The gates were open, the voters were out, but at the end of the day, there was only one winner. Incumbent Michael Ricketts pulled off a definitive victory over stablemate Raymond Anderson in the JFF presidential race.
Who really chooses Jamaica football leadership? What must change? Join Premier 7 right now for the Big Chat. You are free to choose, but you are never free from the consequences of your choices. Make wise decisions. A quote from Ambassador Bryan, as it links directly to the concerns surrounding the failure that still exists in the Jamaica Football Federation. Greetings and welcome to another episode here on Premier 7, everyone. I am your host, Ryan Nelson, coming to you today with a very important topic, which states who really chooses Jamaica football leadership? What must change? I have to say this. Most persons talk about the president when things go wrong in Jamaican football. And will I be saying here that persons are wrong to point fingers? Absolutely not. But nobody or most persons really don't talk about who put them there. And today on Premier 7, this is where the real conversation starts. I have to say that a few days ago, I covered a very important video that speaks directly to how Jamaica football really works, JFF structure, elections, and real change. From that video, I received 386 views, and I really appreciate it. But I would love for persons to take the time out to look into that video, because if we want to make better choices for the Jamaica football space, we have to think about education. All right, so of course, with that being said, let me make this clear. I am not here to defend the JFF. This is not about attacking anyone personally. This is about understanding the system. Because if we don't understand the system, we will keep complaining and nothing will change. 3 World Cup cycles and we fail. What the hell is happening in the Jamaica Football Federation? Is it the case that these guys are robbing the money? I don't have the evidence, but all I know is that Jamaica football isn't good to watch on the eyes or even to think about. So something is wrong in regards to the structure of the federation. Now, let us talk about how leadership is chosen. In Jamaica football, the president doesn't just appear. They are voted in. That decision is made by members inside the system, people who represent different parts of football, including parish associations. So before we even talk about leadership performance, we have to understand that leadership is selected. We have to understand that leadership is selected and that process matters. So the noise that the people are making, I am a part of it at times, but because I believe in getting Jamaica to that era of understanding the football not only on the field but also behind the scenes, this is very crucial for you and people. I have to say here, if you're new to Premier 7, it's your first time that is, please go ahead to like, comment, share, and subscribe. The road is to 3,000 subscribers. This video is one for ages, and I think with your support, YouTube will help it to go further and further. Just as how those persons who continue to support the platform, I really appreciate such. So the more persons come on board, it will be better for this platform to present more content to you, the fans of Jamaica football and the world. by extension. Now, why the process matters? Every vote is a decision about direction. It decides who lead, what vision is followed, and how football develops. So if the wrong decisions are made at that level, then the results we see later should not surprise us. We talk about Michael Ricketts being a failure. Would I say he is? Absolutely. Because I'm judging him based on that level of getting Jamaica over the line in making it to the World Cup. The big talks, the yabba yabbas, I am in no support of such. Because when I watched him on Ryan LFC's platform, he said that he would have stepped down. But when I reflect and check other videos, persons were saying that Mr. Michael Ricketts will not just step down like that. And we have to be more realistic. If you are in your job, and even though you're not performing at that super level of expectations, and then again, you have your life to take care of and your kids to take care of, etc., will you just walk away from your job? Absolutely not. But that analogy is somewhat similar to the JFF. Because, in the sense of the JFF now, we would say Ricketts should walk away, but he will not do so. But the thing is, those persons who are given that task to vote make the right decision. Because when you choose your leaders, they're the ones who will oversee and decide them to choose. And in Jamaica football space, I don't think Mr. Ricketts is the man because I have seen for myself. What vision is there to follow? It is like Jamaica football doesn't even exist. And we're still having issues redevelopment for the sports. So I'm going to talk about accountability. But let me just remind you guys how important it is if Jamaica qualified for the World Cup. You see, just one thing I'm gonna say. I was talking to a friend about Haiti, and he super proud of Haiti. We understand that Haiti, one of those places in the world that would more so be a war zone. But if you look into how football can make a difference in giving that country the exposure, in reducing some social, economical crisis or issue, don't you expect things will be better for at least some time in that country? It would have been even similar or better for Jamaica. Now let's talk about accountability. Of course, yes, leadership must be held accountable. Accountability doesn't stop there. It also applies to the process that choose that leadership. Because better choices at the start is effective, lead to better outcome at the top. When you're running, if you get a good start and you continue on that with acceleration, more so you will win the race. But if you get a shaky start, possibly you will fall or you'd have to fight your way to finish that race. Tall persons are like Usain Bolt. So, people, it is always important to consider who really chooses the football leaders in the JFF. What must change? If Jamaican football is going to improve, a lot of things needs to improve, but let me just suggest a few things here. Better decision making. People must take voting seriously. You're giving away your footballing right. More transparency. Fans need to understand what's happening. Talk about this before. If I didn't, I'm going to say it. Other persons don't hear much about the JFF. We don't hear much from those persons in the JFF. But what we know is that the football isn't looking good. And sometimes the players are at fault, but I will say this. You blame from the top, come right down. And yes, you may say the president. No. It is all about those who make the decision to vote them in first, who have to be more accountable. And of course, more awareness is important because too many people don't even know how the system works. People, if you want to understand the system, this video, JFF Truth, is one that I will encourage you to go and watch. Not by force, but to help you to make better decisions. Because if nothing improves, people, we will not see the World Cup again. And I'm hoping that's not the case. So, my message to you, as a fan, or as fans, we cannot just reach or react for correction to losses and results. We have to understand the bigger picture because football is not just played on the field, it is different. It is shaped by decisions behind the scenes. People, the Reggae Boys and Reggae Girls deserves better, but the Reggae Girls, the under 17s, under 20s, they're performing better than the Reggae Boys, who should be the engine of how the football should be played. But those guys are underperforming because of some issues or some massive issues behind the scenes. But better doesn't start at the top. It starts with better decisions, better systems, and better understanding. Because when the process improves, everything else follows. So, people, I hope that you find this video very interesting. Who really chooses Jamaica football leadership? What must change? This video needs to be heard and to understand by those making these decisions. Because, of course, I am not in the position to vote. So, those who are voting, at least think before you make your choice. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, people. When you do, Premier 7 will respond. So, you all take care. Goodbye until we meet again.